What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's the Resistance. Back at y'all with another live stream. Hey, I wasn't planning on doing nothing tonight, but I said I was going to get this thing started again, so I'm gonna have to be consistent with it. Get the flow back. You know what I'm saying? So tonight will be a review of the 323rd District Court Detention Zoom hearings. I watched a little bit of it. It was interesting, and it mostly seems like it's juveniles involved in this detention hearing. So this is an open panel. Y'all can talk about what's going on. Y'all can talk about what's going on within the Zoom hearing. You can come up on the panel and talk about it. Do whatever you want. It's a fallback night. 12:48 a.m. East Coast time, Boston, Massachusetts. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Perfect sense when needed. Tyron Sneed, what up, bro? Diznuff. Shout out to Diznuff. Perfect sense when needed said, what you smoking on, TR? I got some of that Angela. I got some of that cat piss. You know what I smoke. Let's get into it.
Welcome everyone. This is the detention docket for the 323rd District Court for Friday, April 30th.
Now I want y'all to pay attention to the middle of the screen. It's actually the second column from the left, second row down. Pay attention to this. I don't know if this is an adult, a juvenile. I don't know what's going on, but it looks crazy.
2021. We're still conducting.
Shout outs Bobby Dennis,
online.
K.O. Green.
In order to give the public meaningful access to the courtroom, we are broadcasting these proceedings on YouTube. I do want to state that for court proceeding, people are expected to behave appropriately for court, so please be dressed appropriately and behave appropriately. Please not have moving backgrounds.
So we got main man right here. He already make a grand entrance, strapped to a chair. Appears to be naked under that cloth that he has on. I'd like to know what's going on with that. Shout out to New Guru.
Consume alcohol or narcotics while you are in court. Just not having distracting things like conversations. And your camera does need to be turned on to attend these proceedings. So, Sharon Torres, your camera does have to be on for this. Now, I will also say that I know there are parents that are viewing this in our lobby area. I just want to take the time to explain to you that this is a detention hearing. And so, this is not about whether your child committed an offense or not. This is simply about whether I should detain the child or not. If there's probable cause.
As you can see, he's going through it. He's pushing his head back and forth. Just like shout outs to Tyron Sneed. He said, fighting with staff and threats to self or others. I gotta agree with you with something along those lines.
If an offense has been committed, then I need to whether danger to themselves or to others, or likely not to appear for court, among other factors.
Jason Arturo Lopez Padilla. Shout outs, bro.
And they will have to see a judge every 10 days while they're here on a court order. No portion of this broadcast may be reported or published. If so, if violations of this order are punishable by contempt of court of up to 6 months in the county jail and a $500 fine. Okay, we'll go and start with Ramos. Mr. Ramos, can you hear me? Deputy over there at the jail, can you hear me?
We can hear you just fine, Judge.
Thank you, sir. All right, Mr. Ramos, I'm Judge.
So he's talking about right here. The deputy has to be in this box right here.
Kim, this is a detention hearing. The law says when a child's being held, you have to see a judge within 10 days and have to decide whether to keep you here or to release you. If I keep you here, you must see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney.
He's struggling right there. He's struggling real bad. He going through it right now.
Sierra is your attorney. Raphael, are you here? Mr. Pearson, I'm going to ask you to substitute for Mr. Sierra. All right?
Yes, sure.
Okay.
Shout out Snap Phase.
You're currently on probation for possession of a controlled substance, and you had 4 other drug charges previously. You are 17 years old, and you're placed on probation until your 18th birthday, community service, alcohol education, and medication management, and any other recommendations March.
Just want to remind y'all, this is an open panel. Y'all want to come up and talk about anything or whatever's going on this live, y'all welcome to come up. I got Perfect Sense backstage. Just letting you know I see you. I'll bring you up in a couple minutes.
You were having some problems with schoolwork and behavioral issues. Trying to set up a meeting and you skipped court. Mother saying that you need rehabilitation.
I'm gonna just stop right there. I don't think he's high, unless he got it within the jail, because he's been detained for a while. The judge just said that they have to see a judge within 10 days. So I don't think it's a get high trip that he's going through. It might be mental, or he might have been wronged. He might be agitated because he's strapped to that chair. But I don't think it's a drug thing going on. Not at this time right here.
And drug rehabilitation. And
notice everybody's faces like not really a care in the world. They're all there for work. Okay. They're all there to, get those 8 to 12 hours done and go home. There's no concern about what's going on. Of course, not from the judge. Of course, not from this deputy behind him. And every other face has no concern of what's going on, not even question. Well, they can't even get into all that. This is a criminal proceeding, and this is what they're here to do, to proceed with these criminal charges.
All right, so recently we did a psychological evaluation for you in the county jail, and they're recommending that you transfer to an inpatient psychiatric facility as soon as possible for fitness proceedings. So, we had a hearing set this week, but the attorney in your case was in a jury trial, so we could not proceed. And your mother's very concerned about your health right now. Mr. Ellis, I do agree. What is, Miss Campos, where are we at with this one? Are we just waiting on court to go ahead and start the process for fitness proceedings?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Do we have a date scheduled for that yet?
May 13th.
May 13th. All right, Mr. Ramos, we're trying to get you in as soon as possible. Sometimes with courts, with attorney schedules, there's conflicts. I'm sorry that we could get this done this last week, but you have my word that I'm trying to do the best.
I'm going to stop this right here. He's speaking to a client named Ramos, defendant named Ramos, and he's not anywhere in these squares, so I'm assuming that he's calling in. Those who are familiar with the court system, especially since the pandemic's been going on, the court proceedings have been half and half, or maybe 60-40 coming in or Zoom calls or calling in. So probably like half and half of that. So we don't see Ramos in the screen. I just wanted to point it out. The judge is probably talking to him over the line. Shout out Steve Hayes. I'm going to bring Perfect Sense in. Shout out Perfect Sense.
How you doing, TR?
I'm good. I'm chilling. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. I just want to come and spend a little time with you tonight and up on the stream.
I appreciate that. I need the company.
I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here. Are these probation officers? What are these people?
So I'm gonna be honest with you. Right here, of course, is the judge. I'm pretty sure all these people in here, they're not working. It seems like the judge is the only one that's working in the courtroom. We got a lot of public defenders and attorneys on the screen. they're all waiting for their clients, and I'm pretty sure each of them have multiple clients. So where my cursor is right now, that's where the jail is. That's where they're being detained. Here's the juvenile parent room right here. So the whoever's in attendance, when the parents are in attendance of their child being heard in front of the court, this is the room that they're in. I would assume that everybody else is like court officials and attorneys.
Okay, well, I'm here to see what's going on.
All right, let's get it.
Your case moving forward. All right. Do we not have a mother here?
No, Judge, she's working.
Oh, she's working. Okay. All right. Please tell the mother that we intend to try and move this as fast as possible. There are just certain limitations by law on what we can and can't do and how fast we can do it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Ramos. Hopefully, I won't see you until. Hopefully, we'll have the hearing before your next Sunday hearing. Okay. Thank you, sir. Lorenzo Bird. All right, Mr. Bird, I'm Judge Kim. This is a 10-day detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days. Well, I'm sorry. It's an attorney requested hearing. Your attorney's requested this hearing for me to decide to release you or keep you in our facility. If I keep you here, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Ms. Herrick, your attorney, is here. And let's go over. This is the Uber Eats homicide, correct?
Right.
Okay. All right. Now, Lawrence, I saw you, I think, last week, and I agreed to release you to relatives. However, I did advise them that if you would issue a warrant for their arrest. And at first, they said that they were okay with it, but they started to think about it because of the nature of their employment. They were concerned about this, and so they're not certain about whether you're actually going to run away or not if I release you to them. So, Karen, you requested this hearing for what purpose?
I did. Well, because after the last detention hearing, there was a conversation that went on that I was not a part of, but I heard from Ms. Torres, Lorenzo's aunt, who you agreed to release him to, that she had some questions of Patsy, like of exactly.
The relative is on the top right corner of who they're speaking of, the relative of the child.
What was requested of her, and then Patsy, at that point, I'm not sure if she spoke to you or something happened to where Ms. Torres's questions turned into her making it sound like she wasn't prepared to take him, but that is not my understanding of what happened, and she's here to answer some questions too if you have any more questions of her, because I think there was just a misunderstanding is what I am saying.
All right, so Ms. Torres, what happens here, according to the Texas Juvenile Code, is when a responsible adult takes a child from our facility and takes possession of the child, they have to sign a paper taking possession of the child, which should make sense. But part of the paperwork, and according to the Texas Family Code, is that responsible adult is saying that they understand that if the child does not appear for court, they are responsible for the child appearing in court. And if they do not bring the child to court or assure their appearance, then a warrant may be issued for that responsible adult taking the child. And so in some cases I'm a little more relaxed, some cases I'm very concerned. The nature of this offense that Lorenzo is accused of, I'm very concerned. So
I'm assuming the child, the minor, is right here. I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming that's the minor.
My thing is whatever adult that is willing, Lorenzo, that I need to make sure that they're aware that I can't predict what I'm going to do. It all depends on the facts. But they're exposing themselves to getting a warrant from this court for their arrest to remain day-to-day in the Tarrant County Jail until they're out if they do not assure Lorenzo's reappearance in court. So I just want to make sure you understand the responsibility that you're taking if you were to take possession of Lorenzo.
Yes, Judge, I want to thank you for allowing this hearing to happen today. My concern was because I work full-time. I'm working all the time. My husband, he works 24 hours to 48 hours sometimes, and so I'm not worried that he is going to run away. What I'm more curious about is the fact that, I won't be able to supervise them as much as I need to. However, as a family, we came together and we all spoke. And his paternal grandmother, who I think she's in the waiting room, she just wasn't clear on how to.
I got somebody backstage. I just sent y'all a private chat. Check that out real quick.
I've been texting with her. She's having trouble logging into the meeting, but she is in contact.
Yeah, she's been knowing of the situation since the beginning, since Lorenzo was arrested, and she is home full time. When I was talking to Ms. Paxton about the possibility of Grandma taking him, I think there was some miscommunication because Lorenzo's maternal grandmother is blind and deaf and doesn't speak English, and so definitely wouldn't be a good person to go to. However, his paternal grandmother, she's home full time. She is very strict. She lives also away from the offense location in a different city, and she understands everything that's going on, and she's wanting to take that responsibility. My concern was more because I wouldn't be home all the time, and so he would be unsupervised a lot. And because of the nature of the case, it was for me to take the responsibility, I wanted to make sure that all the T's were crossed and I's were dotted.
Once again, whoever's backstage, read your private chat.
I think she just thought that if she took him, then she wouldn't be able to have other people supervise him while she was gone, or there was questions about, like, could they all help?
Right. So I think there's a lot of discretion to the judge of these juvenile cases. My understanding is that ultimately, if there's not adequate supervision for the child, I can always issue a warrant for the child to bring them back in. But ultimately, the responsibility to the person who signs for the child when they take possession of the child is they are on the hook that the law allows me to issue a warrant for that person if the child does not return to court. So let's say I let a child out. I'm not talking about Lorenzo, but in another hypothetical, I let a child out. As long as the child comes back to court, the responsible adult does not have the exposure. However, let's say the child goes out and commits a new offense or smokes marijuana or violates the electronic monitor, there's no consequence to the adult, only to the child.
Shout out to Level Wise to see.
Yeah, that makes better sense.
Yeah, the only exposure you would have is if he did not appear for court. Any other bad act or court decision on Lorenzo's part would not be a liability to you. It would only be a liability to him.
Okay. Yeah, so, yeah, I think that I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's all right. I just want to make sure that I gave more clarity.
Yeah, if you allow to release him to his grandmother, I think that I have showed that I'm pretty responsible, and I can make sure that he is at every court date too, in addition to the help that the grandmother will get. I've been here for every single court hearing and even the certifications, even though they got rescheduled.
So do you understand that if I release him to grandma and Lorenzo runs, that grandma will have to sit in the county jail?
And she did make it.
Now, hear what they said, right? This is crazy. So we got Sharon Torres, top right-hand corner, right? We got the judge saying, this is a serious situation. I'm concerned about what the minor did. Now, if I release him, I will be releasing him to a family member. And they want to release him to the grandmother, who they said was, I believe, deaf and blind. Right? Didn't they mention that, y'all? If y'all was listening, I know they said something about blind. But if y'all was listening, correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. So,
well, TR,
huh?
is that the Catherine in the chat? I mean, up on the panel? Is that the grandma? Catherine?
On backstage?
No. Over there on the panel, Catherine under Sharon Torres.
I don't believe so, because Sharon was the only one who was talking, and they said grandma was blind, right?
Yeah,
So
well, grandma's sitting there. She looked like she may be blind. She's not looking at anything.
No, I don't believe that's
okay. That may not be grandma. Her.
No, right. And her last name begins with CH. Well, Sharon's last name is Torres, but she could be married.
No, wait a minute. Whose last name begins with CH?
Catherine.
Oh, okay.
But what I was trying to say is that Sharon Torres wants the child sent to the grandmother, released to the grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
And if Sharon doesn't make sure that this child makes all the court dates, whatever appearances he needs to make in front of a probation officer or whatever, that grandma is going to go to jail, and Judge Kim just reaffirmed that
What?
with Sharon Torres.
Okay.
Deaf and blind, D Hayes. Shout out to D Hayes, Snap Face. Yeah, deaf and blind. Good looking. So grandmother is deaf and blind. And Sharon doesn't want the minor directly released to her. She wants the minor directly released to the grandmother, but she's going to look over all of his affairs. And he just said, you know, that if he makes any kind of slip up, smoking weed, don't make a court appearance, grandma's going to jail.
That's crazy too.
Even though they got rescheduled.
Shout out to Mark Kanzerski.
By releasing the grandma and Lorenzo runs, that grandma will have to sit in the county jail.
Wow.
And she did make it into the meeting. She's in the waiting room now. If you have questions for her.
She's in the waiting room, perfect sense. She's in the waiting room.
But yeah, I think they're all aware at this point of the consequences.
Okay, it's whatever adult signs for him, they're the ones that would conceivably wait in jail until Lorenzo. So if Lorenzo's on the run for 5 years, they would sit in jail for 5 years until Lorenzo's out.
So grandma, who's deaf and blind, would sit. And you know what? I think I'm wrong. I think they may be talking about another grandmother. I wasn't listening closely. I think they did mention 2 grandmothers earlier. I don't know, perfect sense, if you picked that up. But I can't see them releasing a child to a grandmother who's deaf and blind. I might have missed something. I think they're talking about the cognitive grandmother on the other side of the family.
Right, and as long as she's willing to take that risk, then my decision was
I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt that they're not going to release a minor to a deaf and blind elderly woman. And then if he doesn't make his appointments to court or whatever, or, slips up, she's going to go to jail. He just said that if he's on the run for 5 years, she'll be sitting in jail for 5 years. That's crazy.
Right now, if you have questions for her. But yeah, I think they're all aware at this point of the consequences.
Okay, it's whatever adult signs for him, they're the ones that would conceivably wait in jail until Lorenzo. So if Lorenzo's on the run for 5 years, they would sit in jail for 5 years until Lorenzo's out. Right, and as long as she's willing to take that risk, then my decision was it was okay to release Lorenzo. I just want to make sure that everyone understands what they're getting themselves into.
Yes.
Can the state be heard on this case?
That's right.
So, Judge, if the court is considering Lorenzo and he's here on a murder charge, the state would ask that the court makes an inquiry of the person who's actually going to take custody of Lorenzo before we just summarily rely on the hearsay of the person who previously would not take custody.
That's not exactly the way it went.
I don't think that's part of my decision-making process. Right? I understand you have questions about that, but I'm looking at this, and Lorenzo, it looks like he's making good decisions, and my understanding.
Well, Judge, the state has concern about suitable supervision, and if we haven't vetted the person who's agreed to... Sorry, Judge?
That's right, yeah. No, that is not lost to me. I have concerns about suitable supervision as well, but this is one that things are moving very slowly on. Lorenzo seems to have been doing well, and I'll be honest, almost 90% of the kids that come through here have concerns about suitable supervision. But right now the concern is he a danger to himself or others, likely to return to court? He hasn't been previously adjudicated on a felony. I'm not comfortable, but given the situation, I'm hesitant, but Lorenzo does very well in our detention facility since he was brought here. I can't really just hold him here just because of the offense.
Well, Judge, I understand that, but his behavior in detention, I'm not seeing as a factor on the consideration of his release, and it more goes to his likelihood to abscond. If the court's aware, his prior referral to the department was for, although it's unadjudicated, was for evading arrest from police, and the facts in his detention hearing report are that he and his co-respondent plan to flee the jurisdiction of the court.
That's not what the facts are. The facts are that his co-respondent attempted to flee the jurisdiction of the court. That does not say anything about Lorenzo trying to leave.
Your Honor, the detention report reflects that when arrangements were made to flee the jurisdiction of the court, Lorenzo Bird was in fact with his co-respondent and did
TR, who's Zane Reed? Who's that guy in the middle?
So that's prosecution.
Okay.
That's I mean I would that's the one that's fighting for him to get do some time or refer to a program, whatever, for him to remain detained, basically.
Okay.
the court to take that into consideration that we're considering releasing the respondent to someone the court has never spoken to on a capital murder charge.
Right. I understand, Mr. Reed. I have my hesitations, but
Capital
at the end of
murder.
the day, I think Lorenzo has a lot of families showing up from different avenues. They're all been fairly consistent in what they're doing. They're showing a high level of engagement. But this is one of those you take, I don't know, Lewis Parker, right? Also capital murder. And I let him go and always, like, I got burned, but he's been sitting here ever since. But it wasn't, he didn't actually injure anybody.
So he said he got burnt. It sounds like he's saying that he let a child go and the child didn't make it back to court, and the person who signed for him has been sitting ever since.
When I got burned on that one. So it's a tough decision. I don't think there's a right decision. I don't think it's clear. This is the part about being a judge that's not so fun. But I'm balancing different interests. I understand your interests, Mr. Reed. I'm counterbalancing that with Ms. Herrick's interests as well as Mr. Bird's interests. And so, just given the nature of the situation, I'm also considering the fact that the line of work that his family is in. And so I think I give a little more credibility or deference because of that as well. Right? So,
Judge gonna let him go home.
But point noted, it's not lost on me. I get it. I have to make a decision. This is my decision. We'll find out if I was right or wrong.
Judge don't trust it.
No, your family's sticking their neck out.
What'd you say?
I said the judge don't trust it.
Out for you. Please don't burn them.
Yes, sir.
All right. That's on your release on
That's him. He said, please don't burn them.
Same your interest, Mr. Reed. I'm counterbalancing that with Mr.
Court. So we just ask the court to take that into consideration that we're considering releasing the respondent to someone the court has never spoken to on a capital murder charge.
Right. I understand, Mr. Reed. I have my hesitations, but at the end of the day, I think Lorenzo has a lot of families showing up from different avenues. They've all been fairly consistent in what they're doing. They're showing a high level of engagement. But this is one of those you take, I don't know, Lewis Parker, right? Also capital murder. And I let him go and always, like, I got burned, but he's been sitting here ever since. But it wasn't, he didn't actually injure anybody when I got burned on that one. So it's a tough decision. I don't think there's a right decision. I don't think it's clear. This is the part about being a judge that's not so fun. But I'm balancing different interests. I understand your interests, Mr. Reed. I'm counterbalancing that with Ms. Herrick's interests as well as Mr. Bird's interests. And so, just given the nature of the situation, I'm also considering the fact that the line of work that his family is in. And so I think I give a little more credibility or deference because of that as well. All right. So, but point noted, it's not lost on me. I get it. I have to make a decision. This is my decision. We'll find out if I was right or wrong. All right, Mr. Bird, so you understand, your family's sticking their neck out for you. Please don't burn them.
Yes, sir.
All right, it's on your release on EM, but this is the same conditions as I had before Ms. Paxton. Like, he's going to homeschool. It's going to be a high level of supervision. And Mr. Bird, that high level of supervision is going to continue for quite a while.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Your Honor, just to clarify, no scheduled times out.
No schedule time out. Doctor, lawyer, church, or synagogue or whatever, but religious. But those are the three. No time off from school, shopping, haircuts, nothing. So
He gonna work that church day. You hear me? He gonna work the shit out that church day. He gonna make a few appointments for a doctor too, just to swing out.
Oh, he's gonna go to church Sunday, Wednesday, Friday.
Your Honor, will there be restriction for access to internet and other communication things within his home?
Oh, they trying to roof
Right
him.
now, I'm just in the family. So, I mean, to a certain degree, I don't want to micromanage every kid that comes out of here.
He trying. That's like a threat on his constitutional right. Did you hear what he said? He told him restriction of internet. That's crazy. Within his own home.
They do that. They do that.
That's crazy.
More religious. That's
Well,
right.
I mean, maybe if his situation is connected to a social media platform, I can understand that, but I'm not
Right.
aware of it.
Because I know somebody who's doing 2 years off of the internet because of something she did on the internet.
Mm.
Only time else.
Okay, thank
Your
you.
Honor, will there be restriction for access to internet and other communication things within his home?
Right now, I'm just in the family. So, I mean, to a certain degree, I don't want to micromanage every kid that comes out of here. Some family.
I got somebody backstage I want to bring in. I would normally say their name, but I want them to pronounce it themselves because I don't want to mess it up. What's going on, bro? How you doing? So he's frozen. I don't know. Can y'all see him? Nope.
I see him, but
All right. I'm going to kick you out. You're going to have to come back. Let's continue with the video.
I should trust more than others. This family has particularly shown me. I don't know. I just have a hunch that this family is going to be highly involved. So I'm just going to trust them until they show they can't be trusted. On the other hand, Mr. Reed, your office can get things prepared in a week in advance.
Basically, he's giving them enough rope to hang themselves.
Requesting quicker hearing. I'm sure Ms. Herrick's more than happy to oblige that as well.
Yes.
So I just don't want him to sit here in detention, festering in our facility if I can avoid it. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Charles.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
I just want to confirm with the chat if they in the beginning. I don't want to go back to it because it was earlier, but I want to confirm with the chat if in the beginning they were speaking about two grandmothers, and of course the one that was blind and deaf, and if they mentioned another one that he was going to be released to, because I think that's how the story went. I know they're not releasing a minor to a deaf and blind woman.
that's not necessarily true.
Let me know. Let me know.
Helen Keller could have taken care of him.
Well, I'm about to take it back because I want to see.
Years old, and your place. Rest of this hearing, for me to decide to release you or keep you in our facility. If I keep you here, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. Burns, I saw you, I think, last week, and I agreed. So, you requested this hearing for what
I
purpose?
did. Well, because after the last detention hearing, there was a conversation that went on that I was not a part of, but I heard from Ms. Torres, Lorenzo's aunt, who you agreed to release him to, that she had some questions of Patsy, like
Shout out Streamland Moore.
requested of her, and then Patsy, at that point, I'm not sure if she spoke to you or something happened to where Ms. Torres's questions turned into her making it sound like she wasn't prepared to take him, but that is not my understanding of what happened, and she's here to answer some questions too if you have any more questions of her, because I think there was just a misunderstanding is what I am saying.
All right, so Ms. Torres, what happens here, according to the Texas Juvenile Code, is when a responsible adult takes a child from our facility and takes possession of the child, they have to sign a paper taking possession of the child, which should make sense. But part of the paperwork, and according to the Texas Family Code, is that responsible adult is saying that they understand that if the child does not appear for court, they're responsible for the child appearing in court, and if they do not bring the child to court or assure their appearance, then a warrant may be issued for that responsible adult taking the child. And so in some cases I'm a little more relaxed, some cases I'm very concerned. The nature of this offense that Lorenzo is accused of, I'm very concerned. So my thing is whatever adult that is willing, Lorenzo, that I need to make sure that they're aware that I can't predict what I'm going to do, because it all depends on the facts, but they're exposing themselves to getting a warrant from this court for their arrest to remain day to day in the Tarrant County Jail until the warrant is found, if they do not assure Lorenzo.
Perfect sense. Did he say Kern County Jail?
I didn't hear that.
They're exposing themselves to getting a warrant from this court for their arrest to remain day to day in the Tarrant County Jail until the warrant is found, if they do
Yeah,
not
it sounded like Kern.
So I just want to make sure you understand the responsibility that you're taking if you were to take possession of Lorenzo.
Yes, Judge.
Well, in the background, the judge's seal in the background, I believe it says Texas. Looks like it says Texas, but it could have still been Kern though. You know what I was thinking of, Kern in California.
I want to thank you for allowing this hearing to happen today. My concern was because I work full time. I'm working all the time. He works 24 hours to 48 hours sometimes, and so I'm not worried that he is going to run away. What I'm more curious about is the fact that I won't be able to supervise them as much as I need to. However, as a family, we came together and we all spoke, and his paternal grandmother, who I think she's in the waiting room, she just wasn't clear on how to.
Okay.
I've been texting with her. She's having trouble logging into the meeting, but she is.
So I keep you must see a judge every 10 days.
So yeah, they were speaking about two grandmothers because one of them is in the waiting room.
Go down from school, shopping, haircuts, nothing. So it's going to be doctor, lawyer, or religious.
To internet and other communication thing.
So I think you're in. Mr. Falls, I'm Judge Kim. This is Detention.
That's a good comment Dreamland Moore made. She said, I think it's wrong to jail anyone because someone else doesn't do what they are supposed to do. That's just crazy. Yeah, it was a situation with a rapper from Philadelphia named, now this doesn't have anything to do with juvenile, but it was a situation that had to do with a rapper named Beanie Siegel. He was going to court for some charges of, I guess, attempted murder, I believe, and a number of other charges. But Jay-Z was essentially his boss and also his rapping partner. And, he had received a lot of support from, his record label and his label mates as well when it was time to go to court. And Jay-Z got on the stand for him, and he was asked, well, if he doesn't comply with everything he's supposed to comply with, are you going to be responsible? And are you going to be responsible for what happens to him? And Jay-Z said no. So, some people feel differently. Some people feel as though if they sign their name on that paper that, they're going to do what they're supposed to do. They're going to make sure that that person gets the court or, make his appointments to the probation officer, not smoke weed, all the stuff that they got to comply with. But, some people just can't you can't make people do what they don't want to do. So it's a toss up. But shout out to Dreamland Moore for that.
The child project facility gets to a judge within 2 days, not decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you must see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have a right to be silent, you have a right to an attorney. We have appointed Ms. Hamrick as your attorney. Charles, let's see, you're almost 16 years old. You first came to us back when you were 13 for an intervention. Let's get you on the right track. 4 months later, you're arrested for assault and family violence. And the victim dropped the case in February of 19. So at this point, you are 13 years old. You're brought here for another assault, family violence. So, Ms. Alonzo, what is permanent probation? Is that just probation to the 18th?
No, they transferred this position from Denton County to us.
Okay, so you think of assault and violence in Detention County, and we're supervising you here, and you're arrested for evading arrest on foot, which the DA dismissed. On the same day, that's criminal mischief from $750 to $2,500, and another assault and violence, which you got probation for. Then in December of 2020, so at this point you're 15 years old, you're arrested for another domestic violence case, which the DA dismissed. So now yesterday, USPD brought you in. They're saying that you reported that you and your mother were in a physical fight. Mother had assaulted you. Police.
I assume the judge is speaking to this guy right here on H-Pod. Look how they got them all suited and
Wait a minute. Is his face covered up with a spit thing or
yeah,
something?
that's why I said, look how they got them dudes all suited up, geared up for court.
Oh,
is they walking around in jail like that, or is that just a situation for court? Is that how the judge asks them to dress? On proper attire, mask, spit shield.
Right. What is he gonna spit? He's gonna spit on everybody on the Zoom?
Well, he's in contact with correctional officers.
I know. That's just crazy. Got him sitting up there looking like that.
Yeah.
Arrived, spoke with you and your mom. Both said that you were doing your online schoolwork was on lunch. She wanted you to the rest of the school day in the living room so she could make sure you were doing your classes. Since recently you have not been attending your classes online. There's an argument, said you were leaving, you were going to take your laptop. Mom took the charging cord. The two struggled over the cord, and while you were struggling, Mom was pushed to the ground. You said that you grabbed and pushed her onto the couch because she was trying to get the charging cord back from him.
So he pushed he like put his hands on Mom, huh? That's crazy.
Grabbed your mom's phone and called 911. He said, while you're on the phone, your mom was slapping you in the face. Police determined that you assaulted your mom by pushing her down, causing pain in her shoulder, contained and brought her over here. First thing, Charles, your mom has every right to take your laptop from you. Your mom has every right to tell you where to do your schoolwork. Your mom has every right to tell you not to leave the house.
He just threw his big shield head up in the air. You're looking at the ceiling now. Did you notice that? That whole shield just went up.
The Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Darth Vader shield.
He looked, the judge told him, your mom got every right to take away that iPad or whatever it was. His head went straight up like a zombie.
Then grabbed your mom's phone and called 911. He said, while you're on the phone, your mom was slapping you in the face. Police determined that you assaulted your mom by pushing her down, causing pain in her shoulder, contained and brought her over here. First thing, Charles, your mom has every right to take your laptop from you. Your mom has every right to tell you where to do your schoolwork. Your mom has every right to tell you not to leave the house. So, Ms. Alonzo, his probation has already completed then?
Yes, he completed probation already. He completed in November 5th,
So
2020.
This is his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th family violence case. Mom, are you here, Ms. Holtz?
He's here. She's present.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I am here.
Are you the victim in all 5 of these cases?
Yes, sir. I am.
Okay. So, then, Ms. Alonzo, do you have any idea why this wasn't accepted by intake as in a felony assault and violence 2 within 12 months?
No, I don't know.
Alright. Well, Charles, I'll let you know. Your mom deserves better. I find there's probable cause that you committed the offense of assault and violence, and that if I was to release you, you'd be a danger to yourself and to others. And so I'm not going to put you back at home with your mom. Until you show me that you will respect her, follow her rules, and do what you're supposed to do. So that may take a while. Alright, Mom? So I'm not going to.
How is he going to show him that? You know, how is he going to show him that in order for the judge to determine to send him home? I mean, he determined right now it's not a good time to send him home, but
Well, through his letters, through the communication, as long as he's nice.
oh, okay.
Give this the opportunity again.
No, sir, I understand.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Jabari
Thank you,
Hunter.
sir.
He mad. He popped out that chair like a slinky.
All right. Thank you.
Not a slinky.
You know how the slinky coil up and it just bounced out the way? He got right up out that chair.
All right, Mr. Hunter, I'm Judge Tim. This is a detention hearing. When the child comes to the judge within 2 days, I have to decide whether to keep you here or release you. If I keep you, you need to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have a right to be silent. You have a right to an attorney. We have appointed. Mr. Knox has been hired as your attorney. So, Mr. Hunter.
Judge, I'm on here.
Hello, Mr. Knox. Good morning.
Hello, Judge. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Doing okay this morning?
I'm good. Good so far.
That's a paid attorney. You see that? He a paid attorney.
How do you know that?
You see how chipper he is in the relationship he has with the judge from the gate? Yo, bro, what's going on? He playing, man. Like, he not. I keep bringing him in and he not saying nothing. I ain't got time for that. That's it, bro. We done. You gotta let me know who you are in the chat or something. But every time I bring you in, you don't say anything.
Yesterday, Turnpike Sheriff's Office brought you in according to the arrest warrant affidavit. See, around October 14th of last year, about 1:30 in the morning, an adult male victim contacted Fort PD after he realized 6 firearms, a .243 rifle, a 9mm pistol, a .243 rifle,
Damn.
a 12-gauge shotgun, 22 revolver, and another 22 revolver, and $700 cash was taken from his master bedroom. One indicated the victim's daughter said she had recently met and befriended Jabari Hunter and Andrew Katanga. One said the victim's daughter said that she had Jabari over and that when the father returned home, the master bedroom had been gone through. Warrant showed the daughter thought that Jabari was with her playing on the trampoline. Unknown person came through and stole the property. And after she realized Andrew and Jabari had been arrested in Mansfield, she told father she followed Andrew and Jabari on Snapchat, and they were trying to sell the guns that belonged to the owner, track the Snapchat name, and then on the 20th, Jabari finally turned himself in since he had warrants. Andrew, you have never been here before. Mansfield Police is telling us, or Mansfield ISD Police is telling us that they've been watching your social media and your self-snitching, and you've been known to commit offenses together, and they are tracking you to associate you with the offenses. All right, so I remember this one from Mr. Gitanda. I'm letting you know, Mr. Hunter, I'm concerned the weapons have not been all been recovered yet, if I remember correctly. And so, Mr. Ortiz, are you here?
All right, I got somebody backstage. I'm going to try one more time. Can you hear me, bro? Can you hear me?
Yes.
What's going on? You had a hard time getting on. How you doing?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm good. What's your name, bro?
Marwan.
Marwan?
My name's Marwan. I'm from North Africa, Morocco.
You from North Africa?
You
had an interest in police accountability?
Sorry?
You have an interest in police accountability?
Yeah.
I know you. I know you. I know you got some. You gotta have some video of corrupt cops over there in North Africa.
Hello, Marwan from Morocco.
Hello, my sister. Hello, everybody. I enjoy. I don't know. I follow your channel before, and I watch you. You show so many things about. I think prepares.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah.
Will you follow me
So
on Facebook or on YouTube?
yeah.
What platform you follow me on? Facebook or YouTube?
No, YouTube.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. Continue.
Okay, thank you. Um, I think you know me before. We talking. You talk with me before because before I show you about some information about G material.
In Dudley Station, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I remember you now. So I want to apologize for I want to apologize for keep kicking you out, but I usually only let people who I recognize, and I did meet you that one time, so I forgot what you look like. I apologize for that. And also, people do a lot of strange things when I'm live on Facebook, not just to me, but in general. So I was trying to prevent that to happen. But I'm sorry about that, bro. Welcome to the stream. I appreciate you getting in contact with me. I remember had a situation going on and you really didn't want to talk too much about it, but we did exchange numbers. What's going on? I don't know what's going on with that. I do remember dude now, though.
Marwan from Morocco.
That was last year when I met him. And we did exchange numbers, and he was giving out some information on, some people that was doing them dirty, a group or whatever. He was trying to bring awareness to it. And we didn't exchange numbers, we exchanged Facebook information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
he might have hit the leave button by mistake.
shout out to them Blue Line Slayer. What's up, bro? How you doing? Got them Blue Line Slayer in the house.
Yes, sir, you're on.
All right, so Mr. Ortiz, that's correct, right? Some of the weapons are still missing.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Jabari, my concern is that, or Mr. Hunter, my concern is that if I was to release you, that you had immediate access to the guns, since we don't know where they are. So I'm concerned about releasing the community. I feel like it's a danger. You have to understand that each judge has his own philosophy, and my philosophy is kids and guns is a big problem for me. And I pretty much always detain the kids initially when there's a gun involved. And if there's a gun used in the crime, your stay ends up being quite substantial.
Shout outs Jason and Candles.
Used in the crime like a robbery or an assault.
Shout outs to Queen, Renetta Williams.
I'm going to go and detain you, right? And then I will make a decision later on whether it's safe to release you to the community or not. But if you have information about the firearms, Mr. Knox, I'm very straightforward on this one. My concern literally is there's a gun hidden away, and Mr. Hunter has access to it. If I was to let him out, he'll acquire possession of the weapon, and it will be used in the crime.
Yes, sir. Judge, and I'll do what I'm not trying to be difficult. You want to hear from the parents? I know, but
this is just something I've always done, unless the parents know what the guns are. If the parents know what the guns are, we get them secured. That is my number one safety factor right now.
Okay, I understand.
So, Mr. Hunter, I know you think it's raised. You have the right to be silent. You have the right to talk. My recommendation is you have to tell me something that you save it and tell your attorney that.
Bill Knox kind of looks like the Pope.
Kimbo, or the way things work. I'm happy to answer the question. So, do you have a question for me, or do you want to talk to something?
Mr. Hunter, I'd ask you to remain silent, and you and I can talk, okay?
So paid attorney. Paid attorney. That was good work right there.
Prosecutor that is watching this and taking notes. So I don't want you to say anything that they take down and use against you. I'm really doing this to try and protect you. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Mom, Dad, thank you for being here. I hope you understand my decision. Not asking you to agree with it. I'm just hoping you understand why I'm making this decision. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Judge, may I real briefly, the court coordinator, I'm from Dallas, and she was very helpful to me. If you tell her, I appreciate it very much.
Oh, you're welcome. Jabari, I forgot to tell you the nature of this offense. This is what's normally a third-degree felony. If you're an adult, you'd be looking at 2 to 10 years in prison for this. However, as a juvenile, you could potentially be committed to the Texas Juvenile Justice Department. Just to let you know.
Juvie life.
That's a potential outcome on this case. All right. Your hand is raised. Do you have a question, or do you want to tell me something?
I just want to know if I can say hello to my parents.
Well, your parents get to you. You'll be given a phone call. You can talk to your parents regularly. Okay? Thank you, Mr. Hunter.
Thank you, Jason. May I be excused, sir?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Knox.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. An opportunity to...
What you think about that one, Perfect Sense?
You've been here for 10
I'm
days.
sorry.
What you think about that one?
I don't know. It's ridiculous.
He had some guts he was able to judge having it. I don't know.
I don't know, but it sounds like the judge is kind of low on my end.
You can't hear the judge?
Yeah, the judge he's kind of low.
Detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days, so I'm deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. We have appointed Mr. Gladstone as your attorney. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning, Judge.
John, I know your name. I know your name is not good. You're 14. You started coming here when you were... Oh, this all just started like in August. Started with 14. Criminal mischief, which was dismissed. 2 days later, you get arrested for stealing a car, which you got probation for. 12 days later, arrested for stealing another car, which the DA just gave you a supervisory caution. And 2 days later, arrested for running from evading arrest, which the DA dismissed.
Wow.
March brought in Fort Worth PD for stealing a car. So, dispatcher stolen car report. Grandma said you took car without permission. You said you were driving down to Houston to visit with a female.
Where's my belt?
So, we had a warrant for you, arrested by Harris County. We brought you back here. And that you are self-professing to be a pimp.
Self-professing to be a pimp? Is that what he said? We got a pimp on the top right-hand corner?
Back that up a little bit.
Down to Houston to visit with a female. So, we had a warrant for you, arrested by Harris County. We brought you back here. And that you are self-professing to be a pimp.
It ain't easy.
Top right corner.
It ain't easy.
So you're on probation, smoking weed, running away, stealing cars,
and pimping.
All right, well.
Who is he possibly pimping?
So, Mr. Clayton, can you tell me why he's level 3?
Yes, Your Honor. It indicates here that he was talking without permission. He has a lot of not following instructions and disruptive behavior and using profanity.
Talking back, cussing, not following instructions, disruptive.
Judge, may I just interject? He's got some pretty severe psychological problems. Judge Porter released him for a psychological evaluation. I'm hoping that was completed, and I'm hoping he's on his meds, but it doesn't seem like it's doing much good if he is. But there's some pretty deep psychological issues we're dealing with here. Grandma wants to get him some kind of long-term placement for those issues.
Mr. Clayton, is he receiving his medication?
Currently, Your Honor, on Monday, we did try to get him appointment set for Dr. Ahmed, but we was told that Dr. D had to see him again in the back after denying him the first time back, and I believe that was March the 31st. Currently, I did talk to Grandma this morning because I didn't get a chance to talk to John, but he did see I did make another request for to see Dr. D, and I believe he did see Dr. D this week.
Shout out Joshua H.
Yes.
See, the problem was, Judge, Dr. D, if that's his name, was initially didn't feel like he needed meds, so he basically allowed him to be furloughed to see a psychiatrist or psychologist outside. I think that happened, possibly get him on meds. So now I guess it sounds like we're going back to the department psychiatrist, which kind of concerns me. Seems like we're going in circles here.
So we have time. We have a time set up, or we're still kind of waiting.
I'm not sure if Mom. Again, I haven't confirmed that Mom was able to get him a psychiatric assessment psychiatric assessment outside the facility.
Yeah, given his history, I'm not willing to let him out to do that. He steals cars, and I guess steals girls.
Shout out Philly Boy 420. He steals cars and he steals girls.
So, what? And I guess steals girls, right? So, what's your alternative, Mr. Howard?
Currently, right now, he was accepted for placement over at Rockdale, and also he's scheduled for court, I believe, if I could look correctly, on next week around on the 12th, Your Honor. So there's been some things in play currently. I believe he did see Dr. D though this week, according to what Grandma did talk to him. So I believe he will be getting the psychiatric meds.
Your Honor, it does say he's taking medications as of yesterday.
Okay.
Yes.
It is that information is in JCMS on for 429.
Okay, so he's starting medication as of yesterday. His behavioral problem. He hasn't had time to catch up with his medication.
Correct.
All right. Well, Mr. Bazan, we'll see. I want to see what your medication's like. If you're able to take it, and if it helps your behavior. If it does, I'll reconsider this. But right now, given everything you've done, given the fact that you're traveling to other counties, Texas, given the fact that you're self-professing to engage in human trafficking, I am not considering releasing you at this point. Okay, so we'll see where this goes. All right, thank you, Mr. Bazan.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Glasson.
Is it me, or does the judge's voice not fit him? Like his looks.
This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days, so I'm reviewing your case, deciding whether to keep you here, whether to keep you. You'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have a right to be silent. You have a right to attorney.
But you think he's befitting of more befitting of a soprano voice or something?
No, not at all.
We've appointed Ms. Herrick as your attorney. So now, see, you're 17. Forward PD brought you in for evading. They were noticed. Forward PD was notified of a stolen car through real-time crime center. Traffic stop, chase, red lights, run, speeding. Hit another vehicle. Went on, but 3 people bolted. Rear passenger threw a black bag out before bailing. And you were identified as a backseat passenger. Saw you standing next to the vehicle when they're shouting commands. You took off running from the scene. Refused commands to stop.
That's the mom right there. You can tell that's the mom right there. Is that the mom, or is that the attorney from earlier? I think that's the mom.
Mr. Bridges, I'm Judge Kim.
Which one? Where are you pointing?
Over here.
Right here, Lisa Herrick.
You're from Temple, Texas.
She looked very uncomfortable when he was running those charges down, or what he did.
You have a pending
this girl right here.
Juvenile probation transfer request from the state of Virginia for burglary and larceny. Well, Ms. Herrick, I'm at the point now. Have you found anything out about the Virginia case, Ms. Herrick? You're on mute.
Okay, she's the attorney. I thought she looked familiar. She just looked very uncomfortable when he was running those charges down.
No, I haven't. I've been waiting for that information.
So, Mr. Bridges, I'm going to ask you a very limited question. In Virginia, did you have an attorney for your juvenile cases?
I believe so.
Okay. Ms. Herrick, I'm going to charge you with the duty to try and maybe you can find out what county it was out of and
Yep.
what can help you. My concern is really jurisdictional. I don't know what Virginia holds
She just moved, Level.
as far as juvenile jurisdiction.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if it's better if they want to take possession of this child, deal with their case and return him, or
Right.
want us to take care of her. So if you can find out, talking to counsel over there, if
Yeah.
there is. Also, Mr. Dotson, if you can call the counterpart in Virginia to find out what the court or their juvenile services would like to do with this child. I just want to do what's most expedient for Jalen. I just don't know what it is. And I'm not really willing to let him go at this point just onto the streets because he's got to face the music in 2 states right now.
Yeah.
And I don't want him to pick up a third. Okay. All right. So, Mr. Bridges, at this point, I think if I was to let you go, you just run like you ran for the police. Well, if it's true, allegedly you ran for the police. And so I think that shows a level of character that you don't respect the system or the process. So if I was to let you go, I think you'd run from court. You may not, but that's just what it looks like to me. So I'm going to go ahead and detain you. Hopefully we'll find out information to take care of your cases in the state of Texas and the state of Virginia. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, have a good weekend.
You too, thank you.
Jeremiah Cologne.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Ms. Perkins.
This child is the one that we had the disposition hearing last Friday.
Okay.
And he's in custody because we are waiting on the actual transfer placement to Mountain Home Academy in Idaho. There was some paperwork that had to be completed, and I thought, and Marie and I were talking about this, that you had said to keep him in custody while that paperwork was being completed.
There it is. So Jeremiah understands this process at this point.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you, Jeremiah. So detention hearing. You have to see a judge every 10 days. I know we have a deal worked out. I just saw you in my courtroom last week, but you understand that. I'm keeping you here. I told you I'd keep you here, but we got to have this face-to-face every 10 days, okay? So please, make good use of your time. I want you to go to Mountain Home. I really want you to do well, okay? And I don't want to go into personal details about why you're here in the case. I don't think the public needs to know about that, but I just want you to know, remember all that stuff I told you at the end about your incentives to do well? That all still holds. That hasn't changed, okay? All right, thank you, Mr. Cohen.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, have a good weekend, Tracy.
You too. Bye.
I'm missing. All right, so Cameron Dukes Durham. How are you, Cameron?
I'm fine, Judge Cam.
Good morning. All right, Cameron, this is the petitioner. You've been here 10 days. I'm deciding whether to keep you here or release you. If I keep you, you'll see the judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to be silent. You have the right to attorney Mr. Pearson as your attorney. All right, April 15th, Fort PD brought you in saying at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they were dispatched to Dillon Apartments about an aggravated robbery. Spoke to 2 people, said they were at the apartments to buy 2 grams of weed from a guy they met on Snapchat who goes by the name Stop 6. The guy, Stop 6, suspect number 1, and companion, suspect number 2 arrived. One of the victims gave him Stop 6 $25 for the marijuana. At the time, both suspects produced guns. Number 2, later identified as Cameron, placed his gun against the neck of one of the victims. Said, "You."
Oh, he got his mama in there.
Fucking niggas better give us what you have.
What do you say?
His mama in there. Ain't that his mom in the middle?
Oh, you motherfucking niggas better give us what you have. With a gun.
Oh, what did he just say? Can you back that up?
Suspects are told $600. You motherfucking fucking niggas better give us what you have, with a gun to his neck. Handed the suspects a total of $600, Louis Vuitton wallet valued at $500. Then suspects left the location. Victims described to as a slim black man with short dreads wearing a sweatshirt. Second one, longer dreads, letterman jacket. Victims say that both appeared to be in their teens. When they looked at surveillance cameras, two people matching the descriptions were seen walking together towards the location where the offense was. There was a bulletin using screenshots from the video to forward PD personnel.
Good night, Miss Renetta.
As Cameron Dukes and
Shout out to the Queen. Have a good night.
I know his name, so that's not good for you.
Mm.
We both documented gang members, detective, notified, detective. We both documented gang members, Vuitton wallet valued at $500. Then suspects left the location. Victims described to as a slim black man with short dreads wearing a sweatshirt. Second one, longer dreads, letterman jacket. Victims say that both appear to be in their teens. When they looked at surveillance cameras, two people matching the descriptions were seen walking together towards the location where the offense was. There was a bulletin using screenshots from the video to forward PD personnel. Gang unit recognized the two suspects as Cameron Dukes and Osmond Osborne. I know his name, so that's not good for you. We both documented gang members, detective, notified, detective, that Osborne was shot during an offense that was being investigated, so he's in the hospital. Went to the hospital, and police found you on social media apps with Osborne. And this all happened while you're under deferred prosecution for possession of marijuana.
Shout out to American Amy.
You were caught on a security camera that came up, you had weed on you. When we picked you up, you were positive for marijuana. While you're under deferred prosecution for marijuana, for the offense accused of robbing people while selling marijuana.
Mm.
But marijuana's a harmless drug. Alright, Mr. Dukes. The seriousness of this offense.
Was that a Miller's bottle that lady was popping at the bottom right corner? What is that?
Can't be.
Can you see that?
Yeah, that can't be.
Sure. Selling marijuana.
Some kind of tea.
Marijuana's a harmless drug.
Okay.
Alright, Mr. Dukes.
Philly boy said root beer.
The seriousness of this offense, the fact that you're hanging around people who are getting shot, gives me great concern. Honestly, if I let you go, Mom, I hate to say this, but I think he'll just return back to his same friends, return to the gang lifestyle.
She's eating on the low.
Get back on the porch and get back inside the house. I don't think he's ready to do that yet. So,
you see her mouth moving and chomping around?
Next time, it may be your son getting shot instead of one of his friends. The behavior he's engaging is escalating to a much more dangerous level. This is really for his safety and the safety of the community. All right, law part about this, Mr. Dukes, is that you used a gun, allegedly, in the commission of an offense. That is the type of offense I take the most seriously. All right, when a firearm's used, especially when kids are using it, I have to draw a line somewhere. Me as a judge, that's just where I draw the line when kids have guns. Okay? So, Mr.
Greetings,
Dukes,
American Amy.
I don't mind answering it.
Shout out to American Amy. Have a good night.
Pearson does not want you to tell me anything. I said, do you have a question or do you want to tell me something?
Tell you something.
No, I don't want you to tell me something. Pearson, which I see you right. All right, when a firearm's used, especially when kids are using it, I have to draw a line somewhere. Me as a judge, that's just where I draw the line when kids have guns. Okay? So, Mr. Dukes, I see you raising your hand. If you have a question for me, I don't mind answering it. If you want to tell me something, your attorney, Mr. Pearson, does not want you to tell me anything. I said, do you have a question or do you want to tell me something?
Can I tell you something?
Now, I don't want you to tell me something, and the reason why I'm doing this, to look out for you, there's a DA, a prosecutor that's watching this, or multiple DAs watching this. They're taking notes on their computer on your case. So I don't want you to put yourself on the spot. Does that make sense? So if you say anything, they can turn around and maybe use that to investigate the crime on something else that you're linked to. So I don't want you to mention where you live or your friends, anything that can link you to anything else. I'm doing this because I want to help you out. Okay? All right. So, Mr. Hicks, for now, I'm here to say I'm not forgetting about that. I'm not ignoring that. This is just one of those. Since the gun was used in the aggravated robbery, allegedly, I take these very, very seriously. Okay? All right. Thank you, everyone. That will conclude the detention docket for today. Everyone have a good weekend. Thank you.
Battery 70%. Connected to GHES Galaxy S1.
Wait a minute, what she had on?
You said what she had on?
They could turn around and maybe use that to investigate or you're doing that. I take these very, very seriously. Okay? All right. Thank you, everyone. That will conclude the detention docket for today. Everyone have a good weekend. Thank you.
She stole Serena's outfit.
Everyone have a good weekend. Thank you.
What are you talking about?
The mom.
Why the camera follow her like that?
Look, she stole Serena's tennis outfit. Look at her. Why is she dressed like that in the courtroom?
I have no idea. What you think about that Zoom court hearing? You want to see more of that? You think you like that? I'm pretty sure I can find more interesting things. It just take a lot of sifting, a lot of watch time hours. How about that?
Yeah, they're good. They're good as long as they got a little juice in them.
Right. I mean, I haven't even watched it. I probably have watched maybe the first 10 minutes of it. And I said, seems like something interesting to look over. I wasn't even expecting the little juice we was getting.
You know what I like? I like the ones that have the bloopers in them. You know, like where people go on Zoom and then go sit on the toilet or something like that.
Right.
And don't know they're on camera.
Yeah. Thing about that is when those happen, they get out fast. Look, this dumbass judge only know how to end the Zoom.
He's looking.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm about to cut on out, but shout out to Perfect Sense for coming up on the panel and rocking out with me the whole time. I appreciate that.
Well, thank you for having me up here on my day off.
Yeah, it's about that time. I'm about to make 2 turkey sandwiches.
Well, all right. Eat one for me. I'll talk to you later. See y'all. Peace.
Have a good night. It's the Resistance. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I appreciate y'all rocking out with me. This was a juvenile detention Zoom court hearing. Got pretty interesting. Y'all let me know in the chat if y'all like to see more of these. It could be a thing. Shout out to Level Wise to C, Joshua H, Dreamland Moore, Philly Boy 420, American Amy. Have a good night. Appreciate y'all. Constitution Matters. Renee Williams the Queen. Renetta Williams the Queen. Sorry about that. All the way from Wynn, Arkansas. Renetta Williams the Queen. And if I missed anybody, I apologize, but I appreciate y'all rocking out with me. Y'all make sure y'all have a good night. Y'all make sure y'all be safe out there. It's the Resistance. Hit the likes. Everybody about to get killed out here. Like it for everybody.